weekend is almost upon us and racing returns in Hong Kong with another Saturday twilight meeting coming up at Sha Tin. 11 races throughout the latter part of the afternoon and the early evening. Welcome to Racing to Win. Bit of a different feel on the show today because there is no midweek racing in Hong Kong next week. So we're going to have a special guest join us shortly to preview Royal Ascot through the World Pool, which you'll be able to bet on. Paul Lally's at the news desk by himself. And what news do you have for us, Paul?
Yeah, solo gallop here. Well, I can tell you there's no jackpots, but as such, with 11 races, we're going to put $1 million into the Quartet First 4 merge pool. So there's a little bit of a bonus at the end of the day there for you as well, end of the night as well. So look, it's a full field of Griffins, race one. Quite intriguing with a couple of good newcomers coming in there.
Yeah, is indeed. And we'll have plenty more from Paul very soon. Firstly, though, we're going to head north right now and join our special guest.
It's more than just a racecourse. It's an icon. A symbol of style, splendour and prestige. For a week in June, the sporting world casts its eye on horse racing's greatest stage. A stage that's provided brilliance.
Kingman now and James Doyle shot through to the lead.
Drama.
He's easing up on her. Oh, he nearly blew it.
Agony.
That is hard to take.
Destiny.
4 Gold Cups, 28.
And legends.
The champion of the world.
This is Royal Ascot. History beckons.
And a man we know well when it comes to Ascot racing joins us on Racing to Win. It's great to have Jim McGrath as part of the coverage. Jim, welcome to Racing to Win. It must be a week you've got many, many fond memories of.
Yes, Mark, it's a wonderful meeting. It's the pinnacle of flat racing in this country, and 5 days, 35 races for the week, and it is a fantastic week. I was very fortunate to do 25 or 26 meetings for the BBC and also on the course calling those races, and it was always something that was very, very exciting and something I was always looking forward to.
What was it like calling at Royal Ascot? Has it changed much from when you were there to what it is now, as far as commentary position goes, etc.?
Yeah, because they built the new stand in 2006, 2007, so it is slightly different. You're not right on the line. I think a lot of people don't know that. You're not right on the line, but the positioning of the commentary boxes these days is slightly better than it was in the old stand. So it is. I'd say the biggest challenge for a caller are the big fields, particularly in the straight races. So if you've got something like the Britannia Stakes, there's 30 runners coming straight at you, and the Hunt Cup is the same, 30 runners on the straight course over a mile. So that's a challenge, and also races like the Ascot Stakes, always about, I think these days they whittle it down to 20, but that's 2.5 miles. So it is very, very different, but I think that the variety is something that makes it, and there's something for everyone. There's Group 1 races all the time, but also there's some really good handicaps.
It's a week where Hong Kong hasn't had great success. There are a couple of winners amongst them, though, but it's still always a week where the Hong Kong punters love getting involved in, and we go back to Cape of Good Hope and also Little Bridge with winners.
Yeah, Little Bridge was ridden by Zach and put up a really good performance. It was, I think it was one of Danny Shum's, wasn't it? Little Bridge, and absolutely blitzed them in the end. And I would say a bit of a surprise to the locals over here, but Little Bridge was able to do that. Cape of Good Hope was another one, trained by David Orton and ridden by Mick Cannan. And that was unusual because Royal Ascot that year was at York. They were building the new stand at Ascot, so they relocated Royal Ascot to York, and it was Cape of Good Hope who went in. So it was a memorable time.
On Tuesday, Jim, the St James's Palace Stakes. Is this going to be one of the races of the week?
I would say the race of the week. We've got the clash of the English, Irish and French Guineas winners. We've got Notable Speech, who was very, very good at Newmarket. We've got Rosallian, who Notable Speech beat at Newmarket, but then came out and won the Irish 2000 Guineas. And we've got a horse called Metropolitan, who did a good job winning the French version, the 2000 over there, the Poulain, and defeating Dancing Gemini, who's not a bad horse. So there's some really good horses lining up in that. One of the horses who was unplaced in that was a horse called Henry Longfellow, who's he finished 8th in that French 2000, but comes out and clashes against the Guineas winners in the St James's Palace. There's no doubt having 3 classic winners from 3 different countries in Europe is a real highlight, and it is going to be, as I say, probably the race of the week.
Day number 1 that takes place, as does the Queen Anne on Tuesday. How's that field shaping up?
Well, this is an interesting race because of the weather. Very unsettled weather here at the moment. Hasn't been a summer to think of. We haven't seen the summer at all, and we're in the middle of June, and I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it looks like there could be rain about. Now, a horse like Inspiral won't like the rain. A horse like Big Rock will love the rain. So you've got that to weigh up. It's an interesting one. And also because Inspiral was well beaten by his pacemaker, actually, in the Lockinge at Newbury, when 4th there. So she may have needed it because it has been a wet spring, and they've had a bit of trouble getting them ready, some of these trainers, and many stables are affected by that. But she should be better off. But the key is the ground, and she wouldn't want it soft. She could be all right on maybe just with a little bit of cut in it, but she prefers it on top of the ground. Big Rock, he won the champion, the QE2 in last October, and that was a really soft track, and he absolutely bolted in. He's a good horse. He's had a change of trainer since last year, and he got beaten first time out in that Lockinge. However, he's got a new jockey this time in Christophe Soumillon. I think that's a real sign that they mean business, and they need to reverse that poor form of last start. So I think he'll go a lot better, Big Rock. But my selection in that race is a horse called Charon, trained by Roger Varian and ridden by Sylvester de Souza. So he won 2 times before he went to the Lockinge, and it was a very good run there when he was second behind that pacemaker. So it was Charon, I think, is going to be good value, and I think he can go very, very close for Sylvester.
There you go, Wonderlock in Charon for Jim McGrath on day number 1. Can't talk Ascot, Jim, without mentioning the Ascot Gold Cup on Thursday.
Yeah, the Ascot Gold Cup, it's always a centrepiece. 2.5 miles, Group 1, the elite stayers. Interesting that Vauban, who was a beaten favourite in the Melbourne Cup last November, he goes around, and he's 3rd favourite. Willie Mullins, the trainer, of course. And he ran 2nd in the Yorkshire Cup, first time out this season. Probably needed it, and he'll be cherry ripe for this. But he'll find it very, very hard to beat Kyprios, trained by Aidan O'Brien, the winner of this race 2 years ago. He didn't appear last year, but he's had a couple of runs this time in, and he looks like he's in form. So Kyprios to win the Gold Cup on Thursday, and Vauban will be interested to see how he goes. Mark, I've got one other for the week, and that's on Saturday in the Hardwick Stakes, a horse called Middle Earth, trained by John Gosden and Thady Gosden.
All right, one for the Lord of the Rings fans there, Middle Earth. 35 races, Jim. Have you had time to look at Sha Tin on Saturday?
I have, yeah. I've looked at a couple of them. A horse that really takes my eye, and of course he'll be a great favourite with everybody, is Pachafetta, who's obviously got top weight of 135 pounds. This will really test him, and we'll find out how good he really is. But he's never missed a place in 8 starts. He's a very, very consistent horse, and he's certainly going the right way. And it could be a valuable winner for Francis Lloyd.
He is race 9, number 1, the Jim McGrath tip for Sha Tin on Saturday. Jim, it's great to have you as part of Racing to Win today, and enjoy your week at Royal Ascot.
Thank you.
Always great to hear from the legend that is Jim McGrath. We thank him for joining us on today's show. Now for punters, this is what is happening as far as the Hong Kong Jockey Club's Royal Ascot coverage goes. Tuesday to Saturday, coverage starts every day at 9:05 local time, with the first race at 9:30. So even though there is no Happy Valley, there is no Sha Tin on the Wednesday. there is still lots to bet on. Some of the best racing, 35 races coming in from the UK. 11 races coming in from Sha Tin, with 9 on the C+3 course and 2 on the all-weather. 4 o'clock start time through until 9:15 local time. And the 2 races we preview, races 9 and 11. And Jim's tip runs in race number 9. It's Patch of Theta, who goes up £9 for his last start win. First time 1400 metres for Healthy. Fantastic fun on debut in Hong Kong. Hyper Dragon Ball has the visor on. Sunlight Power crossover noseband is off him. Northern Beach's best form so far has been over shorter, and Stella Swift has won a trial since we last saw him race. And the speed here, Paul, does come from Healthy and possibly the fastest beginner in Hong Kong, Beauty Fit.
Look, he is quick out, isn't he? And he's drawn barrier number 10. So as such, I thought he might be able to get across and sort of share the lead with Healthy, who's another one that likes to come across. And he's drawn just slightly inside him in barrier number 9. Now, Healthy hasn't been to Sha Tin this season from his 10 starts, but did run well here last season. Fantastic Fun as a newcomer. I think he can get a nice run in behind it. 18 Palms can lead, but that's over the 1650. He's back to 1400 for his first time in his career here in Hong Kong.
Might be a little bit too nippy for him out of the gates. 18 Palms over the shorter course here, Paul, but there's a few to look at, and there'll be a number of those in the market in this replay, including Patch of Theta, Sunlight Power. He's 18 Palms again, Stella Swift and Hyper Dragon Ball. He missed the start, Hyper Dragon Ball, and that put him out the back, and Sunlight Power is quite unlucky up the home straight.
Yeah, and look, he does meet him at a lot better in the weights as well, doesn't he, with Sunlight Power. Couldn't get out too late. Now, he can be a bit of a difficult ride because he can pull and carry on, especially in the mornings. So Jerry Chow will have to be aware of that on this horse. But look, he's definitely got plenty of raw ability. And I thought with any luck, he probably would have won the race. So now he's better off in the weights. It's going to be a fascinating contest between the two, but I think they're the two main chances.
And the horse that runs third in that race is Lost Child, and he won not too long ago. And here it is, Paul, just further highlighting on the head-on that the run's just not there in time for him.
No, exactly. And once he did get into the clear there, you can see he had to come off Chu Chow Spirit's heels, or try to, and then in the end he managed to come through that gap, but by that stage the race was over.
It was indeed. It's a huge turnaround in the weights. However, you can't knock the job Patch of Theta has done. Never, ever missed a top 3 finish.
He's done really well. One of the ISGs, of course, Hugh Bowman will stick with him, and he looks really a horse who's better than Class 3. So I think he'll get up to Class 2. I just think he's meeting a horse maybe slightly better at the weights.
Healthy, Paul. We've seen him a lot of times around Happy Valley where he has raced well. He's been to Sha Tin 4 times for just the 1 placing. This is a recent trial. He leads all of the way in this to beat Prestige always. Can he improve his form further at Sha Tin this week?
Well, I'm going to include him because he's such an honest horse and he's going to be in the right spot. He's drawn 9. The only other sort of horse that could put pressure on him is Beauty Fit, but he's got a senior rider in Zach Purdon on Beauty Fit, so they're not going to go silly in front. So we know he can be a hard horse to get past at Happy Valley, and he did race well at Sha Tin last season. So, look, I think he's definitely a chance.
He's a member of the Pierre Rung stable. Francis Lloyd trains Patch of Theta. There is the Trainers' Championship with absolutely nothing between the top 2.
Yeah, 61 all at this stage with Pierre just edging ahead in seconds. He's got 3 more seconds. But look, there's nothing going into it, isn't there, with limited meetings left, and looking forward to it. Here's Pierre's horses that are racing. Yoda's Choice, definitely a chance, as his Captain Win. And Robot Knight on the all-weather, I think he's a big chance. Healthy. Cross the Universe is in the same race as well. He went well in only his race. And Aero Invincible will have to be a chance in the last. So he's got some pretty good charges there. Karate Express is a Griffin, first starter. Draco was a bit unlucky at his last start. Cornbury Glorious will be probably one of the shortest prices of the whole evening. Joy coming to the all-weather for the first time. Patch of Theta is a big chance as well. So he's got the numbers as well as Francis, but between them, I think they look pretty evenly poised. I think they'll be coming out pretty close at the end of this meeting.
61 a pair. Tony Cruz on 53. If he produced a treble, it would just throw the cat amongst the pigeons. He had a great night at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. We need to get back to race number 9, though, Paul. Have you liked what you've seen from Fantastic Fun? He won over 15.50 at Kembla and 1600 at Warwick Farm, both in New South Wales before arriving.
Yeah, so he's unbeaten. He's 2 from 2. He's by Justify, this horse as well. He's had the 3 trials to get him ready. He's 11.79 pounds. Now he's back to 1400 metres. You'd think with the Justifies, further the better, but he did win over the 15 and the 1600 metres, as you said, before he got here. So look, I haven't minded his trials. I'm going to include him. Obviously, it's not a bad trial. Kaying Rising in that one.
It was indeed, and Kaying Rising, a recent Group 3 winner. Good field this to Sunlight Power. Turn it around on Patch of Theta.
I think he can. I think that's the Quinella though. So I've gone 6 to beat 1 in this contest. So I've got Sunlight Power to beat Patch of Theta. Now Healthy, we'll put him in there for 3rd, and we'll give the first starter a chance. First up, yeah, I think he's going to come on for the run, but I think he can still run a placing. 6, 1, 3 and 4 for me.
We've packed plenty into the first part of Racing to Win. We'll take a break and come back and unpack plenty more right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. Out of the break as always, Paul, we switch across to the last run reminder. Capital Delight has come up as this week's selection in a race where a bit of a guide through a few of these because they've all clashed recently.
They definitely have. I thought it was a good run from Capital Delight. He's drawn the inside gate, so you can see him, he's slightly slow away there, and he was just sort of on the back foot from then on, and they didn't go very quickly at all. You can see they were slightly slower than standard. He had to come, he swung wide on the turn. I thought it was a really good run. He finished off the race really strongly. He was on this rating of 72 here. They only put him up 1 point, which I thought was very fair for Capital Delight. And he finished off the race strongly. Now, he's in a strong race once again coming up. But look, if he does everything right, he could be a bit of a price as well. So I like the way he hit the line strongly, Capital Delight.
In Victory Moments, who beat him there, does go up quite a bit in weight too for that victory. So he gets a turnaround on him. Race 8, number 5, is this show's last run reminder. Speaking of lasts, race number 11, it's a Class 3 over the 1600 metres. And Find My Love has his best form over 1400 metres. Ching, a 4-time course and distance winner. Karma, last start victor, carries an extra £10 for it. Young Achiever, Shadow Roll goes on. Beauty Live, a quick back up for him, and the cheek pieces have been added. Pray for Mer has his first start, and Aero Invincible, 1 go over 1600 metres. And he was victorious. On to the speed here, Paul, and we have Oriental Smoke leading. Pray for Mer has shown pace in his trials. Ching's going to get a really good trip.
He should do, yeah. He's drawn 9 and 8 his last couple. He's drawn perfectly in barrier number 2. But there's no real standout leader here. And Kempe, who's only had the 1 start, went back on his debut run. But in a recent trial, he went forward. So they just might be tempted to go forward with him, and he might be able to get outside Oriental Smoke. One thing I thought Oriental Smoke might lead is, in this track work during the week, he was really revved up, this horse, and went to the front. Karma, he came from the back winning last time, so I think he'll go back as well.
We start with an interview, though. Nick has done with the trainer of Beauty Live, who ran a big race at any old price last weekend. His trainer is Frankie Law.
Frankie, race 11 looks at a competitive race. You've got quite an interesting runner, I thought, in Beauty Live. Quick turnaround, but he was better last time.
Yes. You can see last time you got a outside draw, and then I tell the jockeys, I just take it back. I don't want to go forward. If you go forward, maybe you cannot finish. So take back and then all the way behind and in the straight. When he asked the horse keep coming. So I think he's the best one this season. So when I saw the program coming Saturday, they also have a Class 3 16. I just put him in, yeah.
And Frankie, if you can put your finger on it for any particular reason, obviously his form has not been as strong this season as last season. What might that be down to, do you think?
Before he have some injury, he have a spin bone, and then before he have a little bit tendon problem. So, but anyway, now it's back to normal. Everything's good, and then the form looks better. I hope he he have a good race coming Saturday. Yeah.
There is Beauty Live with the addition of the cheek pieces this week, Paul. That's our interview. So on to the replays we go. Here is Beauty Live running 11th. This is the start before last weekend. Powerful wings consistent. This was a huge win by Karma. He's back running second last, turning for home. He ends up beating Voyage Samurai, which is not easy to do. However, a lot of extra weight and a very wide draw.
Yeah, so look, he'll probably go back again from that wide draw because it sort of worked for him in this contest, as you can see, and he finished off and won really nicely. Now, just one thing about this race, they did go quite quick, so he might have been slightly flattered by this win. You can see he finished over the top nicely, but Frantank set up some pretty quick sectionals there in front and he'd faded out to finish sixth.
He has trialled well since Karma, 2 under a hold down the outside. Find My Love, Oriental Smoke. Running on is Aero Invincible to finish third, but Ching, good draw. Lyle Hewitson back on board this week, and he's the man that's had really good success on the horse.
Yeah, and he's a very positive rider, Lyle. So look, from an inside barrier draw, barrier 2, I think he's going to put him right in the perfect place. Wasn't a bad run from Aero Invincible as well, and look, he comes in with a nice racing weight as well of 118, and he runs third here. Aero Invincible finished off strongly, but I do like the run of Ching. He's the widest. You can see him finishing off really nicely there for 8th, and he's going to be a lot closer in the run now.
He too has trialled well since that start, has Ching. On trials, we head to Chung Fa now, and Young Achiever, who's only had the 2 starts here in Hong Kong for a 5th and an 8th, gets the shadow roll on, Zach Purton sticks, and he goes to the 1600 for the first time, a distance that he won the German Guineas over.
This is the key for him. He started off at 1200, which was way too short for him. Finished off nicely, then second up to 1400 metres. So getting up to the 1600 metres for the first time looks really good for him. I'm going to include him because I think he's quite a nice horse, this one, Young Achiever. And you can see it was a nice, easy trial from him.
Racing Club's been having a quite good success of late. Now, a newcomer in this race, Paul, is Pray for Mur. His name was Javaja, when trained by Stuart Kendrick, won over the 12 and 1400 metres at the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. He's had 5 trials since he's been here. This is the most recent of them, over the 1600, when second behind Fortune Superstar.
Yeah, and this is the trial. Now, he's 1,092 pounds. He's had 5 trials here in Hong Kong. Now, he's up to 1600, which looks good for the son of Justify because we're seeing a lot of those that progeny come as it stars. The one little proviso, and the reason I didn't include him, was both his wins in Australia as he wore blinkers. And he's racing here without blinkers for the first time. So, look, I think if he runs a really good race, he might catch the eye and they'll put blinkers on next start, and that's when it's to get on. Now, we might miss the boat as such, but that's what I'm wanting to do with him.
So if he doesn't perform, look for the little B1 in brackets next to Pray for Mur going forward. Good race is always the last. Ching for you, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ching here. I quite like this horse, and I think he's ready to win. He's off a rating of 75, and he has won off that rating in the past. Aero Invincible in there for second. Young Achiever up to 1600 looks good for him, and Karma from the back. I think he'll be running on strongly at the end, but I think Ching can win. 3, 11, 5 and 4 for me.
That is the preview for race number 11. All of the races are on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for race by race analysis. Paul, we need your best bet, your long shot and your play, please.
Yeah, we're going to start off with Ching. We've just seen him, and it was a really nice win. A nice run from Ching last time. Barrier 2, off a good rating, which he's won before. Good stats there, 16 starts for 4 wins. So he's the best, Ching. And for the long shot, we're going to make a horse called Ballistic Win. Now, he really caught the eye last time, finished off really strongly. He'll get back a little bit as well, Ben Thompson. Now, look at him. He's highlighted there against the rail, and he just kept making ground, kept mating ground. He's by ace high, this horse. So, look, in any sort of sting in the track, won't mind him. He won't be bothered by as well. And look, he just missed out on third here. So, it's not a strong race that he's in here, and hopefully we'll get a double-figure price because I really like the way he hit the line. And we'll do the play in race 4. Glory Elite was very impressive last time. Brilliant Express only had the 1 choice, and Yoda's Choice in there as a QQP.
We saw Sunlight Power in the preview for race number 9. Unlucky last time behind Patch of Theta. Gets him at a big turnaround at the weights this week. Jerry Chow on board for Ricky Yu. Laugh Tail and Manfred Mann going for a £7 claim. Disappointing last time. He'd been running on well since in the starts before that. He's trialled well. And the forecast is race number 9, the forecast 6 Sunlight Power and 1 Patch of Theta as the play of the day. That has been Racing to Win. The diary looks this way with Saturday, that is correct, Saturday, Sunday the 23rd, of course, Royal Ascot coming up in the interim. Back to Happy Valley for Wednesday night racing on the 26th. And the final group races of the year coming up on Sunday the 23rd. But we've got 11 from Sha Tin before we get there, Paul. Who wins the Griffin?
I reckon Angelic might win at double-figure odds. Don't mind him. First starter.
They get underway at 4 o'clock and we'll see you at Sha Tin for that race.